So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick recap of the Prince Edward Island provincial election, where former journalist Dennis King, who became leader of the P.E.I. PCs only in February, is the new premier, replacing Liberal Wade McLaughlin. Now, as the polls closed last night, unofficial results have the Conservatives with 12 seats. The Greens, who moved from 2 seats to 18, are now the official opposition, led by the charismatic Bevan-Baker. And of course, Premier Wade McLaughlin saw his majority in the P.E.I. legislature disappear, and he ended up with 6 seats. And as it stands right now, there's going to be a by-election for the other seat because the Green candidate, unfortunately, in that riding passed away a few days before the vote, and due to respect for the family and the party, the by-election will be held at a later date, and that's not going to change the results much. Now, P.E.I. is normally a PC or a Liberal-dominated ledge, and as the years have gone along, the Liberals almost did a complete sweep many years ago, but it's been pretty well either all PC for a number of terms and all Liberal. And this is the first time, to my memory, there's been a minority government in the modern era of P.E.I. politics. Now, what was very interesting here, there were some predictions, including by provincial Green leader in New Brunswick, David Coon, that the Greens and P.E.I. would win the election. And at one point, they were polling 10 points ahead of the other candidates. But in the last week, the 40% polling totals went down to 30%, which led, of course, to Bevan-Baker going from leader with 100 member to 8 seats. Popular vote was 36.52 for the Conservatives, 30.62 for the Greens, and the Liberals, who still had some strong support in the upper, what I call upper north portion of P.E.I., ended up with 6 seats. In the urban areas, the Greens and Liberals kind of dominated, while rural P.E.I. were mostly PC, because that's a normal result. Now, how much of this is due to Justin Trudeau and the SNC-Lavalin affair? P.E.I. politics are very interesting. They're not like other, provincial votes. It's more personal. The voting totals are quite a bit less. Most of the people in P.E.I. know the district candidates. There's a lot of public participation, and it was a very, very democratic vote, because when you have a split between 3 parties like this, people were saying for the PCs to win the full leadership. I mean, the full majority needed in the 40-42% range, and all the polls pointed to that not really occurring. The negative, of course, was the NDP. Their vote totals have dropped in consecutive years, and as of this morning, it's around 3%, which obviously they do a little bit better in Edgemont region, but the rest of the province, just some terrible vote totals. Now, as it stands right now, I don't see this breakdown in seat totals going to lead to the Liberals and Greens deciding to bring down the government. There's probably going to be like New Brunswick, and there's going to be a reflection time. But Peter Bevan-Baker, he's a cooperative approach politician. He has had his own nickname for Dennis King. From what I heard, he gets along good with candidates from every party. It'd be interesting to see if later on he decides to go federal. I think P.E.I. has been a great training ground for great young and middle-aged politicians. Most of the politicians come from P.E.I., are very Canadian in focus. They believe in a cooperative approach to what's best for P.E.I. I think we're going to see that as the months go on. But again, congratulations to the voters in P.E.I. for coming out during an April election. There was some talk that McLaughlin was going to wait until October for the provincial election, but because with the federal election close by, I think he basically made the only decision he could be. At the latest, probably could have it June, July, but it would have crossed over with the campaign. And there was some talk that some of the Liberal candidates were having difficulty on the hustings, visiting voters, bringing up Trudeau, and that's pretty normal. But it didn't seem to have much controversy with the election. It seemed to be very peaceful and straightforward. And again, the people from P.E.I, the people I know there, family and friends, great people down there. Do you know how to run politics? And the electoral reform, talk about representative proportional vote. You know, so many votes you get so many seats, was pretty well defeated. It didn't really carry in most of the districts, and that's no surprise. 60-40 split, that's comparable with the first referendum in Quebec. Maybe if you think about it a little bit more, but I think proportional representation has more problems than solutions, because you might get a very radical right or left wing party that gets seats where they have no more than 3 to 7% of the vote. We don't want to have a messy house, because in New Brunswick, if you had proportional representation, you would have 6 parties in the ledge right now, and maybe 7. Who knows? Because the NDP and the KISS party had okay vote totals, but it's the way it goes. So again, congratulations, and CBC and the different media outlets have a better breakdown of this tonight. And again, seat number 27 will be a by-election. And actually, condolences to the Greens for losing such a good candidate in that unfortunate incident. But things unfortunately happen every day, and we just hope for the best for the family and for the Green family and all the politicians in the P.E.I for being so respectful for the situations. Anyway, on this floody day in New Brunswick, we say thank you, P.E.I, for running a great election and not running it into the ground, because from what I heard, my media pals down there, again, it was a very, very ladylike as well. Not say gentlemanlike, but ladylike and personlike vote. Seemed to be very, very straightforward. What you see with what you get in P.E.I. Great province, great people, no surprise. Have a good one. Bye.